Before we start, please subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell if you're interested in more tips for emotional wellness and mindset. Let's get into it. Today, we're diving into a fascinating concept by Harvard brain scientist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor called the 90-second rule. This idea can transform how we deal with emotions, helping us find more peace, clarity, and control in our daily lives. Dr. Taylor explains, when a person has a reaction to something in their environment, there's a 90-second chemical process that happens in the body. After that, any remaining emotional response is just the person choosing to stay in that emotional loop. When something upsets us, our body's reaction only lasts about 90 seconds. After that initial wave of emotion, it's within our power to choose whether we stay in that feeling or let it pass. When we experience a strong emotion, whether anger, stress, or joy, the body immediately releases chemicals like adrenaline or cortisol, which surge through our system. These chemicals create the initial rush of emotion. As soon as we react to something, these chemicals are released and circulate through our bloodstream. But interestingly, this intense emotional state only lasts around 90 seconds. After this short time, the initial emotional response naturally fades away. This means that the gripping power of emotion usually only holds us for about a minute and a half. After this point, it's entirely up to us how we respond. Dr. Taylor's insight encourages us to see that we often have more control over our emotional states than we might realize. After the first 90 seconds, any ongoing emotion is likely due to us mentally replaying thoughts or focusing on the memory of what upset us. Consider situations like sitting in traffic or receiving a frustrating email. The initial reaction might be stress or irritation, but that first surge of emotion subsides rather quickly. If the feeling lingers, it's often because we're actively choosing to hold on to what upset us. Recognizing that we're choosing to stay in an emotional loop can feel empowering, giving us the option to shift our focus instead of letting the initial reaction linger. Here are some practical ways to apply the 90-second rule in our everyday lives. Mindful breathing is one way to handle intense emotions. When noticing an emotional reaction, try closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths. Breathing slowly and deeply helps calm the body and can distract the mind from focusing on the emotional loop. Using grounding techniques is another effective method. Direct attention to physical sensations in the environment, like feeling your feet on the ground or touching an object nearby. This practice helps shift focus to the present moment, breaking the emotional cycle. Another approach is cognitive reframing. This involves looking at the situation from a different perspective. Asking questions like, is there another way to interpret this? Or does holding on to this emotion help me? Can provide fresh insight and help reduce the emotion's hold. These techniques may not make emotions disappear entirely, but they can interrupt emotional loops, enabling us to choose a different response. The 90-second rule reminds us that although we can't always control the initial emotional reaction, we can control what happens afterward. Dr. Jill Bolte-Taylor's research shows that after those 90 seconds, the choice is ours. We can either stay in the emotional loop or let go and refocus. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, this insight into the 90-second rule helps build a better understanding of the power we have in managing emotions. Remember, you have more control than you might think, and sometimes 90 seconds is all it takes.